I'm EZRAH here to walk you through today's burning issues and the biggest stories. Welcome to the Manila Times. We're 2 weeks in after a deadly 7.8 magnitude earthquake struck both the countries of Turkey and Syria on February 6, and rescuers are still finding miracle survivors beneath the rubble. As of today, death toll from what the experts called the big one has reached 46,000. With millions of people affected and displaced. Over 40,000 have died in Turkey and nearly 5,800 have been reported dead in Syria. Countries have rushed to give aid to the region, especially to Turkey. Meanwhile, its neighbor Syria is barely coping with the aftermath of a massive quake in the midst of war. Last night, an Israeli rocket struck central Damascus on Sunday, February 19, adding a number to the country's death toll. Here with us now is Syrian Consul General to the Philippines, Mohammed Isam El-Debs. Thank you so much for granting us this interview. Welcome to the Manila Times. So, sir, it's been 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks since a deadly earthquake shook both the countries of Turkey and, of course, Syria. And you've mentioned earlier that the earthquake was felt more on your side in Syria. So how is the country coping after the deadly 7.8 magnitude earthquake?
Okay, good afternoon. I would like to mention again that the earthquake happened at just a few miles between the Syrian border and the Turkish border, but it's in the Turkish side. And then what happened here is we had the 7.8, which shocked, of course, two big cities, southern part of cities of Turkey. And then the shock, of course, covered all Syria, or mid and north of Syria, where we had immediate collapse of buildings. People were sleeping. We had about 50 buildings in Latakia, or 55, sorry, in Aleppo. And then we had about 30, 35 buildings in Latakia, and then the same number in Hama. So the shock waves came to us stronger because Syria is way smaller than Turkey. So we felt it more. And as I said, we are not prone to earthquakes. So we are really not prepared at all. We've been caught.
You've mentioned earlier, sir, the internet is still down in the country, and currently the number that I've mentioned, 5,800 dead in Syria, adding up to the 46,000 dead in total for the death toll as of today. So you said this number could still go up.
As I mentioned earlier, honestly, we don't have power. We don't have cell site for the internet or for the cell phones. So we don't have an accurate number. Our multimedia is not working. Our people on the ground are not reporting to us due to lack of communication. And the other side, of course, Turkey, which is we sympathize them and we sympathize their situation at this time, but they have more power. They have more accurate number, perhaps. We can share that number as it's coming up right now. You said 40, 46. Maybe we can. But the bigger number went to Syria, to be honest with you, but we don't have yet an accurate number.
Yes, sir. Do we have numbers on the current death toll, the number of people injured, the number of people affected in Syria, and those displaced from their homes, and the number of how much damage did the earthquake cause?
Well, thank you. As I mentioned a while ago, we don't have really real numbers. We don't have the figures yet, as we don't have electricity. All the cell sites are down of the cell phones. We don't have way and means to reach the people on the ground. So the numbers right now, honestly, we don't have it. We have the international community coming out of 40, 44, 46, as you mentioned right again. But our numbers showing like not yet reaching 10,000, manually calculated in our side. We have a lot of people who've been displaced. We have a lot of people being injured. The people who's been displaced are, of course, they don't trust anymore the buildings, so they have to go into streets. And a lot of buildings being cracked, beside to the one went down already. We have about 55 in Aleppo, or 50 something. We have in Latakia almost 30, 35. And we have in Hama North of Hama, we had almost the same number. But a lot of buildings are cracked and it's not safe to stay there. For the injured ones, they've been, we thank all those countries who helped us with the medical supplies. As you know, Syria being under sanction for quite some time. You know, we had an unjust war for about 12 years. After the war, we had this catastrophic earthquake. And then last night or the night before, we had Israel attack.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah,
Yes.
we'll elaborate about it later.
Yes,
So
sir.
the injured ones right now being treated by those countries who assisted us in medical aid. We have so far 16 airplanes arrived, and one arrived from Malaysia yesterday, and the other one leaving today. So 2 planes from Malaysia supposed to leave yesterday, but only one left, and the other one is leaving today. All carried supplies and food and clothing, because you know the temperature right now there is below zero and snowing. So the weather really is not cooperating with us. You know, we have here low pressure right now. How much more in our countries? We had, as I mentioned, from Libya, we had from Algeria, we had from Algeria sent 4 planes. 2 of them are dogs, which well-experienced dogs to sniff the dead and to sniff the people stuck under the rubble. We have from Saudi, we have also Saudi Arabia sent supplies. Saudi German hospital sent supplies. Iran sent supplies. United Arab Emirates, one of the first to send 4 airplanes. So the total is 16 airplanes so far we received. Other than this, we really don't have, because Syria was self-sufficient. We used to produce our own medicine. We used to export medicine, actually. We used to export all kinds of antibiotics. We used to produce everything locally. We don't really import that much, but with the sanction made us to go down below. You know, we couldn't do anything anymore. I mean, the whole border is closed against us. Right now, all those planes are allowed because Caesar law, if you read about Caesar law, they gave us window right now for the assistance, window for 6 months. So we can receive money, we can receive time, we can receive anything within that window. And after this window, they're going to close it on the 8th or 6th of August, exactly 6 months they give us. So from February 6th until 6th of August, 2023. So Syria will go back to a sanction. So honestly, I'm not only personally, but the entire Syrian people and the Philippine Syrian people, I mean the Syrian people community in the Philippines, we are appealing for the international community to just lift the sanction against Syria for us to live, you know, like other people living. Let us set politics aside and let us talk here about humanity. Syria needs help. You know, our relations with the Philippines goes back to 77 years. So we are first of those who, how would I put it? I don't want to say acknowledged, or we acknowledged the independence of the Philippines on the 4th of September, 1946. So we are celebrating our 77 years on this year, September 4th. So we are one of the first 5 people who recognized the Philippines by that time, among the United States, Canada, we, and 2 from the States, Beirut, Lebanon, and 1 European country. So we are one of the first 5 to acknowledge or acknowledge the independence of the Republic of the Philippines.
Consul General Eldebs, less than 2 weeks after the earthquake, an Israeli rocket struck Damascus, Syria on Sunday, leaving 5 people dead. So this happened last night. So Syrian Foreign Minister Faisal Mikdad called this a crime against humanity for a country that's recovering from the devastation of a deadly earthquake. So what is your comment on this?
Well, so far the number is more than 15. They hit for the first time the heart of Damascus, like hitting Makati or hitting Metro Manila in intramurals. Imagine how congested it is. So this is the first time, well, not the first time, but this is the first time they target buildings, civilian buildings, Iranian school. They targeted the international airport. They targeted the military airport. They targeted, I think, about 7 sites or 6 sites in Damascus itself. So it was very shocking for us. And as I said, our minister, whatever our minister mentioned right ago, that it is really unfair to the humanity to have such an attack after a deadly earthquake. And we really condemned such an attack, and I hope the international community will do the same.
Yes, sir. It really is catastrophic for Syria to have been attacked, not even a month after the earthquake. What kind of help does Syria need right now?
I thank, of course, the Filipino people. They really had a good gesture by helping Syria. Mr. President, I mean, His Excellency the President President Marcos announced on the 6th, the day of the earthquake, in the evening, he announced that he would help, he would give aid to Turkey and Syria. We saw the help went to Turkey. We didn't see the help going to Syria. So we are not demanding, of course, but we had to submit our appeal. On the 7th, we submitted our appeals to the office of the, to the DFA, and then I think still under the process until now. But I'm sure, even though we didn't receive anything in kind or in different ways, it's enough that we received a condolence letter from His Excellency the President and also from the Secretary of Foreign Affairs condoling the Syrian people. The President sent his letter to the Syrian President, Bashar al-Assad, and the Secretary of Foreign Affairs, he sent it to our Minister, Faisal Mundaq. So we thank you very much for that. At least it will give a little bit support and hope for our people, for the Philippines to be beside Syria. But I wanted to see those boxes stating, showing the Philippine flag with the Syrian flag and says from your people or from your brothers in the Philippines. I really wanted to see that, but did not happen. But I hope it would in a few days or another in the future.
Yes, sir. The Philippine government, Marcos, sent an 82-team man in Turkey to help with their rescue and relief operations, and he sent around a dozen men for the rescue operations in Syria as well. And the Philippine Red Cross, said by its chairman, Dick Gordon, said that the Philippine Red Cross will be giving $100,000 US dollars to both Turkey and Syria each. So have you been seeing these help reaching Syria, especially the aid that the president has promised?
If you remember, on the 6th, His Excellency the President Marcos announced that he would give aid to Turkey and Syria. On the 7th or 8th, I remember, a rescue team left to Syria. It was a higher number than what you mentioned, together with supplies and food and clothing, winter clothing, because we needed winter clothing. Last Friday, we saw 10 million check has been taken over from Chairman of Red Cross, Richard Gordon. It was sent over to the Turkey government. So for us, we really haven't seen anything yet. But as I mentioned, we are not demanding. We are just asking for help, and we are appealing for help. If it comes, it's okay. If not, we thank you very much.
So you've mentioned Syria is in dire need of help right now. So what are the channels, and whom should people contact to give donations to. So how can they help, and who should they contact to help?
Okay, I haven't made arrangement with the Red Cross like what Turkey did. Turkey announced that any help would go to the Red Cross, and Red Cross would turn it over to Turkey. For us, we never did this because when we sent our appeal to the Department of Foreign Affairs, we were hoping that they would spread it around, but it went only to the office of the president. But right now, I appeal from the Philippine brothers and sisters in government and people to contact us here in the Consul General, and we will tell them how to course their support, and whether it's kind or in cash, whatever it is, that we will receive it here, or we will tell them to whom they will send it to Syria direct. As I mentioned to the other news agency the other day, we received call, very nice call from the National Defense. It stated that we are giving you 10,000 blankets. I was so excited. I was so happy to hear from the Philippines that I have 10,000 blankets. So we multiplied 1 kilo for each blanket, so that would be about 10 tons. So I said, how would you send this to Syria? He said, no, we will give it to you at the airport here, and we take care of the shipping. I said, okay, no problem. So I contacted most of the airlines, the friends of Syria. Of course, not every airline is with us. So I contacted Oman Airlines. Oman Airlines, I thank them very much. They reduced the price from about 70%. So I'll be paying like $2 per kilo. So I said, okay, I can shoulder this person. And when I called up back the National Defense, I said, we made arrangement with the airlines. We are ready. Can I have the packing list, please? So we will know what's the size of each crate, or size of each box, or size of each pallet. And they told me, we have a bad news for you. I said, what's the bad news? He says, I'm sorry, this is canceled. I said, wow, why didn't you inform us before? He says, we got an order, it's canceled. I said, okay, thank you very much. And that's it. I did not elaborate anymore. They did not elaborate anymore. So I kept it this way. But I already announced to my government that we have 10,000 blankets coming in from the Philippine government. Some aids might come from Malacanang. And that went to zero, unfortunately. The hope was so high and went down. You know how it feels, at this difficult time.
Yes, sir. Filipinos, not just the Philippines, but the rest of the world is very eager to help Syria. So as you've mentioned, you also need help in getting those type of aids to the country, Syria. Sir, so to whom do you have any official contact number with whom government officials or people from the Philippines can coordinate with to send help in kind?
Perhaps you can flash it down later on and get the screen.
We'll flash it on the screen.
You can put our telephone numbers, and you can put also landline number 750299939, and the cell phone number you have in your hand, and also 88453041 up to 42. And our address, it's in the internet. Just put Consulate of Syria or Embassy of Syria, it will appear. So our address is there. If they want to send cash, we will tell them the right way to send the cash. Perhaps if I see a good reaction of people who would like to give cash, I would like to post it also to the chairman, past Senator Richard Gordon. He's our dear friend. And actually, I emailed him a while ago. I expressed myself and my feeling personally to him what's happening. So I think they are the right people to collect on our behalf.
Thank you so much for that, sir. We will flash these numbers. And as you've mentioned, for those who wants to help, they can also course their donations through the Philippine Red Cross. So my last question for you, Consul General. So what do you hope for Syria in the coming months?
Well, I hope we will live like the others. We hope the sanction will be lifted on us. We hope that things and those traumatized people will go back to their homes. We know many Syrians being displaced during the war, and thank God they are successful outside the country. But we are hope also that they will come back and build their own country. At this moment, if anybody, I'll go back to the health. We are looking now for only medicine, and we are looking for blankets and winter clothes. We're not looking anymore for rescue operation materials, because this rescue it's all over already. So I hope he will live a normal life. Syrians will have his fair in this life to live his own life the way like others do. And we pray for the best. We pray for the Philippines. You know, I always carry the Philippine and Syrian flag on me, behind me. I'm a Philippine in my heart. I've been in this country for 46 years. So I'm very much Filipino also. Thank you.
Consul General to the Philippines, Mohammed Isam El Debs. Thank you so much, sir. We're very sorry for your loss, and we hope nothing but the best for Syria. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for your prayers. Thank you very, very much. If the prayers could happen in any church for the next Sunday, please, mosque or churches, we can all pray together for the Syrians. Thank you very much. God bless. Pleasant afternoon.
God bless
you. Thank you.